for every one of you in this room, for small businesses. She helps make all of our ideas come to fruition. And this is our president, Evan Stocks. Good morning, everyone. Can we give Kim a round of applause? If you have been at the Springfield 360 event before, you know this is Kim. She brings the energy every time, and I'm so appreciative of her that she's here today, even though she's suffering from a cold. But I hope that demonstrates to you all how much she loves and appreciates you and how much she's committed to helping and supporting your business. Again, my name is Ebony Stocks. I am the interim president and CEO here at the Prince George's County Economic Development Corporation. I welcome you all to EDC. You are here in our space, Innovation Station Business Incubator, where we house small businesses that are looking to grow and develop and have community and have access to resources. I know we'll talk a little bit more about ISBI later, but I want to thank you all for coming. Just a couple of things that I want you guys to be aware of. First of all, our website, pgcedc.com. I say this all the time, but please get connected with us. When you go to our website, you'll have an opportunity to sign on to our newsletter. Well, we'll send you information about our events that are coming up, that are trainings, our networking, and things like that. I think for this Procurement 360 series, we only have two more left. We have one, I think, in 2 weeks, and then we have one scheduled for February, and then we're going to take a break. But of course, the idea and the reason why we're doing Procurement 360 and why we're bringing these companies here to you today is to help support your business, help you grow. I know being in the DMV area, we have a lot of businesses who work very closely with the federal government and with all those shifts and changes and work stoppages and we're not giving grants anymore and just shenanigans. We want to help support you because you have families, you have employees, you have businesses. And so this is our way at EDC to continue to support you and help bring you opportunities that you might not be aware of. So Kim has worked very hard with bringing resources here today. We have a huge lineup with WSSC and BG&E and Pepco here today, along with a couple of our resource partners. Again, please sign up on our website at PGC EDC. We have a couple of our business development people I do want to recognize. Just in case you're in the industry sector, John Mason here today. He is our business development manager here in manufacturing, logistics, warehousing, or you really want to get connected to your suppliers, so find new suppliers. John is the one to help you with that. And then we have Alexis Allen Shorter hiding over here, who is our business development person who specializes in the healthcare field. So if you are a doctor, a dentist, a physical therapist, or even in education or biotech, she's the one to support you. We also have Andre Plummer, who is here. He is our finance guy. So if you're looking for tax credits, you want to learn about programs like loans or what's out there to help you purchase equipment and property and things like that, Andre is the person you want to see. And then, of course, we have Alicia Moran in the house here with her beautiful blue bag matching her seat. She is the manager for our incubator here at ISBI. So if you're interested in getting connected, she is the person that you want to see. And of course, we have a whole lot of other people on our business development team. I do want to mention Larry Hintz, who is in the corner here. If you have an interest in commercial real estate, you've got big projects that you want to do, you have a vision, Larry is someone that you want to talk to. So with that, I won't jabber on any further, but thank you for being here. I really appreciate you guys coming out consistently and really hearing about the opportunities that are available to you. So with that, oh, and here is our team. I didn't even know that. I walked through all. I just showed you the ones that are in the house today. But Economic Development Corporation, we are a team of 24, and we are here to work for you and with you, whether it's international, whether it is small business support, you need to help get your certified. If Spanish is your primary language, I did see Rocio, she might be behind the wall. She is here to support and help you as well. We got retail, we have information technology, we have a host of professionals here to support you. So with that, I will turn it back over to Kim and we will keep the show going. Thank you so much, Ebony. And I forgot to mention some key players with our marketing team that makes it all possible getting the information out. Justin, our photographer, in the back, and Jeremy, our graphic design artist. Jeremy's still in the house. But I just wanted to make sure I gave them their kudos. And so without any further ado, we are going to get started with Shirley. That is our first speaker.
Morning, everybody. How you guys? Morning. My name is Marcus Ayers. I am the surety bond producer for Foundation Surety Insurance. I was the first employee for the company, going on 5 years strong now. Um, and my role in the company is to underwrite construction companies, see if they qualify for surety. So the way that I want to start this conversation is kind of explaining what we do at the company. I kind of want to go into our team, our leadership team, with Peter and Nakia to show you their background, what they did, how successful, what they did in the past has been successful for us as a company. So first, we are a surety bond agency. Um, we're a surety bond agency, and our main goal is to help companies obtain surety bonds. So first is Nakia Gibbs. She's our chief operating officer. Um, just a little bit of background about her. She is a former Army officer of 14 years. She worked for the federal government, DOD, and what she does is she sets up events for us to come to this and speak on about surety bonds to encourage and acknowledge people who don't have they don't have the actual necessary capacity to get here. So, and then there's Peter Gibbs. So, Peter is the former director of the Surety Bond Guarantee Program for the SBA. And through that program, he started off at 750,000, and he was able to build that program up to 7 million, which is very impressive. So we use their background, their history, to actually succeed in our company today. So what I want to ask you guys now is, what is a surety bond? Did anybody know what a surety bond is? You guys heard what a surety bond is? Can you tell me what surety bond is?
Like a form of insurance. So it's in terms of talking about construction, if there's an accident, or there's an error, or something that happens in a way, different ways to sort of have insurance on the construction side or a similar form of, a similar form of industry when you need that type of.
Close. Close. It's in the surety industry, we don't like to use the word insurance. We like to stay within the surety. So a surety bond, just a simple fact or simple definition is it's a three-party agreement. The agreement is between you guys, the contractors, the owner of the project, and the surety company. And what this bond is guaranteeing is I'm guaranteeing that you guys, the contractors, are going to complete the project at 100% with no issues. So I'm guaranteeing if we were Prince George's County was to renovate the building, you guys got this project. We're guaranteeing you're going to complete this project with no issues. There's going to be no payment issues, and there's going to be no performance issues. If there are performance issues or payment issues, they can call that bond. And it's our job, once the bond is called, to do a full investigation to see whether or not we're going to keep you on that project or not. If we come to the conclusion that you are not doing what you need to do, we will fully remove you from the project and we'll get a replacement contractor to complete that project. But we are guaranteeing to the owner that this project is going to get done with or without you. So there's two types of bonds. One is commercial bonds, which they renew annually. You know, they're normally like your license and permit bonds, your nominal bonds, your general contractor license bonds. What I want to focus on today are the contract bonds, which has a start and end date. And those are the ones that come with bid bonds, payment bonds, and performance bonds. So why are surety bonds important? It is a law. So this is being called the Miller Act. Any job over 150,000 on the federal side requires a bond. You can't get around it. It's the law. That's important because most states, cities, counties, municipals, they mirror this requirement as well. So why is that important? It's important because if you don't know what a surety bond is and you don't know how to obtain a surety bond, it's going to be very difficult for you to grow your business, and you're going to be missing out on opportunities. So the two things that I always hear about is either one, people do not know what surety bonds are. They come across that requirement in some of these solicitations, and they just pass up on opportunities, which is bad because now you're not passing on opportunities that can potentially help grow their business. So they're missing opportunities. And then the second thing that I hear is people who know what surety bonds are, but they don't have a way of obtaining surety bonds, which is a big problem. So what they do is they still proceed to go after that project. And what ends up happening is they're awarded that contract. So once you get awarded the contract, you typically have 10 days to get that payment and performance bond. If you do not get that payment and performance bond within that 10 days, they're going to remove you from that contract. So that hurts your business in growing. And also you may ruin that relationship with that owner as well. So what I'm here to do today is to show you how to obtain a surety bond. So there's this thing called an underwriting checklist that we utilize. It's certain documents. So there's a contractor's questionnaire. It's information about your company. I want to know what your specialty trade is, what areas you like to work in, the owners of the company. I want to know the accounting system you use. I want to know your list of completed projects, the subcontractors that you utilize, and the suppliers that you utilize. It's everything about your company that I want to know. Next are your financial statements. Balance sheet, I want to see that you guys have. I want to see that you guys have positive working capital. I want to see that there's equity in the company. And I also want to see that there's no low debt on the balance sheet. I want to look at the profit and loss statement. And I want to make sure that you guys are actually making a profit within your company. And I may require an accounts agent receiving report to make sure that the people that owe you money, you are collecting on that. I'm going to require a bank statement. I want to see how much money you have within the company, a work in progress schedule. I want to see what current projects you're currently working on. And finally, a personal financial statement. I want to see where you are personally as well. So once I gather all that information from our contractors, we have this thing called the 3 C's. We want to look at your capital. So in the surety industry, if you're going for a certain project, we'd like to see at least 10% liquid cash in the bank so that you can pursue that project. And the reason for that is if there are some issues on that project, we know that you have enough cash and capital that you can still pay your employees, you still pay yourselves, and you still pay your suppliers. So the job doesn't have to go on hold. Next, we want to look at your capacity. We want to see what job level you guys can complete at. In the surety industry, we typically look at your largest project and we multiply it by 2. So if you completed a project at 500,000 times that by 2, you should be able to complete a project at 1 million. And then the last thing we look at is your character. We want to make sure that you're a good person. You're not lying. You're paying yourselves. You're paying your suppliers. You're doing everything right. And that's probably the most important one that you cannot get away with. And the reason being is we're going to do our due diligence and we're going to we're gonna look at your company on your website, we're gonna look at your LinkedIn, we're gonna Google your company, you can find anything on the internet these days. So make sure when you fill out the application that you're filling out complete and it's accurate. And so I mentioned all those things about how to obtain the surety bond, but what if there's barriers, which most businesses are coming across? Maybe they don't have the necessary capital to do the project, or they don't have the financial statements. We specialize in using what's called a SBA Surety Bond Guarantee Program. So what this program does is it guarantees 80 to 90% of the risk from the surety company. Meaning the surety company is only at risk for 20 or maybe 10% of that project. So this entices surety companies to work with businesses who don't meet all those requirements, or they don't have the financial statement, and they don't have the capital, or they don't have the capacity to do that work. So I'm kind of going to give you guys an example of what I'm talking about. So on this left side, we're just going to call this the standard side. They have the financials, all that underwriting checklist that I mentioned. They have the financials, they have the bank statements, they have the CQ, everything's split up. They have that 10% of liquid cash, and they're going after a $1 million project. They completed a project around that size. I've done my underwriting. I see that they've completed everything. They're able to get that $1 million project. Now this side, we're just going to say the non-standard side. You guys don't quite have financials, and you don't have the 10% liquid cash. But what SBA is going to do is, hey, we don't want 10%. We're going to cut that in half. It's going to be 5%. And on top of that, whatever the unused business line of credit, we'll add that to your 10% or your 5% cash. So you guys might not meet all the requirements, but if you have $25,000 in liquid cash and you have an unused business line of credit of $25,000, you put that 25,000 and 25,000 together, you meet that 50,000 liquid cash. You guys can do the same project that they're going for. So that's the benefit of using SBA's Surety Bond Guarantee Program. So there's barriers, but it's not going to hold you back if you have the right person and you're working with the correct person to move you forward. And then the last thing I kind of want to briefly discuss are the fees associated with the bond, which most people like to discuss. So for bid bonds, which I mentioned earlier, should be free of charge. Some people do charge for bid bonds. Our company does not. If you utilize the SBA Surety Bond Guarantee Program, there is a fee associated with that. It's 0.6 of the contract amount. So whatever the contract amount, you add 0.6, and that's what you're going to be charged for utilizing that program. And then for the premium, if you do get awarded a contract and you need a payment performance bond, there's a fee associated with that, and that normally comes from the surety company. They have set rates with each state that they're allowed to charge you. So if you're paying more than 3%, you need to have a discussion with your surety agent and your surety company, but that should not be allowed. There should be no rates above 3%. And the final thing I kind of want to end with is most people avoid getting surety bonds because they think it's too costly, which is, I can kind of agree, but not. What you need to do is make sure you add in the cost of the bond. If somebody's requiring you to get a surety bond, it's your duty to put that cost of the bond in your estimate so that you get billed for it on your first payout so you can get reimbursed for it. So for the people that always avoided going for these contracts or going for contracts that have surety bond requirements, you are supposed to put that back into your payout and get reimbursed. That is all I have. So I really appreciate you guys letting me speak to you guys about surety bonds. Sorry. It's my first time speaking. I'm a little nervous and a little jittery, but I really appreciate you guys. Yeah, so anybody have any questions?
Jim,
Yes, sir.
you mentioned that it may take 10 days, or you had until, I guess, 10 days in order to get a surety bond for a specific contract. How quickly can you provide that for?
As long as we have all the information I mentioned, now underwriting checklist, within 24 hours. As long as you pay for the bonds. So I'll kind of follow up on this. The way we like to do business is we like to gather all the information so that we can do our underwriting process, so that we can one, either qualify you for that bid, so when you bid it, you're awarded. We can just go ahead and like, hey, we bid the bid bond, now we know we're gonna get a payment performance bond, we can go ahead and get that ready for you. Another thing is, if you don't have any requirements, but you still want to get set up with your bonding, we do a thing called a bonding program once we get all the information for you. So once I gather everything, I do my underwriting process, I can say, hey, I'm comfortable with you guys going after $1 million single and a $2 million aggregate for your company. That's probably the best way to do it so that you know what your limits are and you know what you can go after. Yeah, great question. Right.
Thanks. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And what was your first name? Marcus. Thank you so much, Marcus. Marcus will have a vendor table. So if you guys have additional questions afterwards, you can go see Marcus. And before any of our speakers come up, if you could introduce yourselves, give them your names. I appreciate you guys so much for coming up. And the next presenter is WSSC.
Good morning, everyone. I'm gonna like you. Okay, can you hear me? Yes. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. My name is Michael Jackson. I am the Customer Service and Manager at WSSC. I am one, but I don't want to talk on the slides. Okay. I was brought in on this at the last minute. So excuse me if I don't have any materials. But one of the things I want to start with, piggyback off the gentleman and start talking about the bonds and insurance. Because a lot of our projects, we do require bonds and insurance. And as he mentioned, the 10 days is very important. From the time that a solicitation is awarded to the time that it's executed, there's a 10-day period for ensuring those bonds. Our bonds are on our construction projects. As you mentioned in Miller naturally requires that we receive these surety bonds, which are performance bonds, maintenance bonds, and labor bonds. Now, there's another type of bond that we do ask for some of our projects, maybe projects that actually this group here would actually bid on. And there's some of our bonds, whether they're professional services, business services, which are items when we buy. So when we buy, WSC buy everything from pens to pipe. And so if we can sit here, if you're already here, you have janitorial service. If you have janitorial services, we buy the advertising yourself. That may have the 5% bid bond. The bid bond is a guarantee that the price that you bid that work for is what's going to be accepted. If you redeem on your bid price, what is that contract? We can go after your surety and take your bond. That bond will affect your performance. What the form of the surety company is, they may not guarantee you anything further beyond that. So when you bid projects, you need to be very careful. So go back to sorry.
And if anyone wants to come in, we have lots of seats up front.
So to go back to it, it's like I said, WSSC Water, who are we? We serve Prince George's and Montgomery County. Do we have a lot of Montgomery County residents or Prince George's County residents in here? So you're our primary constituents. So again, what we do for the procurement office, we buy everything from pens to paper to pipe. We service all categories. Some people think that we only do construction work. We go beyond that. So we need all types of services. On an annual basis, my team awards approximately about $500 million in contracts. That's a large number. So our approach is we take a very strategic approach where we align our procurement decisions with WSSC board strategic priorities. Can you hear me? Okay. No, it's going in. Let's see. Yeah, our strategic priorities are to align our procurement decisions with WSSC board strategic priorities. Our strategic priorities are to ensure that we maintain clean drinking water. So in our procurement office, we try to make things very transparent to our customers. So therefore, everything that we bid out, we're going to publicly advertise. We have a public advertising level. So there's different types of requirements that we advertise. So what we have is we call this procurement threshold. We have a micro purchase threshold, which is anything from $10,000 below to your purchase car purchases. Small purchase category, which is a $10,000 to $150,000. Within this $10,000 to $150,000 category, we're required to obtain at least 3 bids. Within those 3 bids, we like to actually make sure that we're targeting at least 2 to 3 small businesses to ensure that we can actually make an award to somebody that's small and local. Anything over $150,000, which we will consider a large procurement, we are required by state law to publicly advertise. We can't get around it unless it's something where we issue a true sole source for. We advertise in 4 different types of categories. One is invitation to bid, which is lowest price. Second, which is a multi-step IFB. It's the lowest price bid, but however, what we're doing is we're taking the lowest price, but however, there's some criteria. There may be minimum requirements that are established in the solicitation, which you must demonstrate prior to award. The next is a request for proposal. The request for proposal is a more complex solicitation type, which you are required to meet all the requirements of the additional instructions, which would include an evaluation criteria. These are more projects that you will have those bonds on. And it's not lowest price, it's what's most advantageous. The last one is what is considered an invitation to bid or an invitation to negotiate. An invitation to negotiate is where we actually do a source salt. This source salt would then actually allow you to come in submit a proposal of ideas of how you provide a solution to us, and we would evaluate that. Again, the items that we buy on goods and services side, we buy chemicals, office supplies, pipes, IT equipment, vehicles, equipment. And on the other side, like construction, cleaning service, CCTV, these are all areas. But this is not just everything that we buy. There's a lot more things. This is just a summary. So right now, WSSC is undergoing a very, very intense capital improvement program. We have a lot of aging infrastructure within Prince George's and Montgomery County, to include, it's not facilities, but our pipes that are ground. So right now, we have a $715 million capital improvement plan, of which we have actually spent about, I think today it was like $512 million when I last checked this morning. So under our capital budget priorities, there are a few projects that we have. One is the lead copper reduction compliance. We have a comprehensive PFAS management strategy. We're looking to upgrade our water facility and real water recovery facilities, upgrade our aging pumping stations, modernize our depots. Some of our buildings, the last time they had upgrades were in 1959. So we have employees with some very old infrastructure. So we're looking to upgrade some of that. We initiated a master plan earlier this year, in which we're seeking to do an assessment of all these properties. And we hope to have some solicitation for those properties out earlier this coming year. So right now, we're trying to be very intentional about what we're doing. In addition, we've been asked by both counties to reduce our budget. So we're going to be operating very, very tight. All of the money that WSSC gets is from our ratepayers. We don't get federal funds. We don't get state funds. So everything that we do is coming from ratepayers.
We're saying 500 million left.
We spent 500 million already. Yes. So we have a couple projects that will be coming up that are very high profile. One of the projects we have is, and I'm speaking to someone before I walked in the room, is we have a $30 million capital improvement project management team project that's going to be coming out this week. This project here is to help us streamline and prioritize our planning, design, and permitting and procurement activities within WSSC. As I mentioned, we have a lot of old aging infrastructure, and in-house, we can't manage it on our own. Another project that we have, which is another large project, is our linear infrastructure basic order agreement. This is more a design services basic order agreement. A basic order agreement is relative to an IDIQ contract, or it's what I'm called services. But this one is roughly about $80 million over 5 years. And this is, again, to support our commission efforts to provide safe drinking water.
Our next slide that we have here is. One more. So currently we are in our second quarter of our fiscal year. Our fiscal year starts July the 1st and ends on June 30th. So we're in our second quarter right now. And here you can find a list of some active projects that we intend to advertise within this quarter. We have our Anacostia 2 wastewater pumping station, Potomac wastewater filtration, in-house power feed. We have the corporate website redesign. I believe that one is actually going to get advertised today. We have a requirement for sewer degreaser, precast concrete pipe, motor road radios, and so on. Another one that we have that I know that is not on this list, and I was talking to someone this morning, is for janitorial service. I mentioned it a couple times. This is a major contract that we have to put in place for the summer of this year. So we're going to get it out. We have I believe 3 facilities that we need to have janitorial services for. And that is our headquarters in Laurel. It's our lab that's in Silver Spring. And I believe it's another plant in Laurel that we need janitorial services. So that's going to be coming out. We have maintenance and operations solicitations to be coming out also with that. But talking to a small business, a group of small businesses like yourself, there are some key things that we really need to look at. Okay? As our current federal administration has reduced our DEI policies. We at WSSC are looking for ways to actually take some of these larger contracts we have to break them down to provide opportunities to you all. But it's going to be very important that you all get involved. Okay? There are some things that's going to be coming up that we're taking to legislation this February to help better our small business program. How many of you are registered to do business in WSC? See 4. It's a lot more than 4 people in here. I need everyone in this room to be registered.
I gotta get ready.
There are opportunities that you all miss out. There are opportunities that are targeted for small businesses. Yes. So there's 2 forms of registration. We actually just changed our solicitation for how we're advertising. So here's a QR code here. We're using a platform called OpenGov.
The speaker can't be close to the mic. Get the mic away from the speaker.
Again, I need everyone to take a snapshot of this QR code here. So, as I mentioned, there's 2 forms of registration. Right now, we have all our solicitations through a platform called OpenGov. In this platform, you will get announcements of all of our new, active, and ongoing solicitations. Also, right now, we still have a requirement to actually for all of our vendors to register via WSSCwater.com on our procurement page in an effort to be in our supplier portal. The reason why you need to be registered in both platforms at the time is because when we haven't had an opportunity to actually see things. And in this supplier portal of WS's website, this is where you would upload your W-9. This is the method which will be issued purchase orders necessary to make payments. Okay. You're fine. So at this time, does anyone have any questions? Yes.
Well, I guess it's not a question, but more like a statement. Like I see you guys out at events all the time, and you're always asking people to like register and things like that, which I've done. But the disconnect is like after I register, like you guys are not willing to have conversations. Like I've reached out to a ton of your people, like, hey, can we chat about how we can do business in with WSST Water? Can I have a conversation with somebody? I've been to your guys' facility, been to your events. Everybody's like, register, register, register. I do it, but then after that, like, it's like your people almost give you like middle finger. And so I almost didn't come today because I was like, oh, I dealt with WS's water. I don't know, like,
I apologize on the behalf of the right person in the room there.
okay. Yeah.
So,
And so like I've gone to several events where I've actively tried to engage with you guys. So I'd love to have a conversation with you after.
yeah, please do. I love to
Yeah.
hear from you.
Because like I would love to do stuff with you guys. I just haven't found an easy in past going to an event where you guys have given me a QR code and said, do this. We never want to talk to you.
Well, let's clear that air. You can be with me today, okay?
Great.
But as far as using the word easy in, there are some regulatory processes that might be here, so it's not an easy.
Well, just like even somebody to talk to,
Yes.
like past going to the event.
Yes, so you can talk to me.
Great.
I'm willing to entertain you. Any further questions? Yes, sir.
Do you have any large IT-related procurements? And then the second question is, what is WSSC's vision in terms of using AI and the cloud? Do you envision any procurements related to those?
So we just had a meeting last week regarding some cloud. So we are moving all of our platforms to the cloud. As far as AI use, we have a policy that we're reviewing at this time. We constantly have IT solicitations. Hopefully, in the summertime, we will be having something regarding AI. We're looking at more AI tools. The problem with AI right now is due to the security nature of some of our facilities. How do we actually make sure that data is not out there? Yeah. Yes. Yes, we recognize all state certifications. Yeah.
I mean, they put here with the percentage of out of state or out of county contractors, or is there a priority for the county that you're not, that both certain states? So is there a priority for Cook County, Montgomery County, what is the way for not saying this, but this, is there a county priority for outside?
So the way that our current legislation is written, no, there's no requirement. And that's the reason why we're going back to the legislators manual to revise that so that we can actually have a more local presence program. Right now, the way that our program is structured, it is structured if you could actually demonstrate that you have the necessary state, federal classifications as a small business, but there's nothing geared towards Prince George and Montgomery County.
The part of that question is what the percentage is outside.
I do not have that number. I can pull that number for you. Any other questions? Yes, sir. That is a conversation that they're having with the accountants right now. We have concerns with it. I'm going to that. Yeah. His question was about data centers, how WSC work when they're dealing with data centers. And my response is right now, that's conversations with the counties. We do have concerns about the data centers, use of water. Yes, sir.
Are there any solicitations?
At the moment, no. If you follow with me, I will check out our general counsel office. Some of our legal services, their requirements not to be advertised due to the nature. But there are some that we do have that will be publicly advertised, but at this time, no. Yes, ma'am.
Sharing that are not publicized, how is it, the whole response with it, is it public?
So you can get registered here, and you can get a public a list of everything that's advertised when it's advertised. Okay. Also, you can go to our website, which displays our upcoming solicitation list. In this presentation, it was just a small snapshot of what we had for this current quarter.
hard to hear because of the regulations, but I thought you could just share that there are some solicitations that are not publicly solicited. So I didn't know if they're not publicly posted, how would a company know that you can ask for?
So anything that's not publicly posted is something that WSSC would reach out for. As the general was reaching legal services, our attorneys would then reach out to other attorneys' offices, and it's a personal service contracts. There are some contracts which when we on our small first categories, and we would actually reach out. So there's a product that I need to get paper, and paper's under a certain price. Then we will call those small, find out what businesses in the area maybe have certain types of paper, and then reach out to them and ask for quotes.
So the business is a legal business, then they should reach out to your legal office just to build a relationship.
Yes. Reach out to our general counsel's office.
Any other questions? Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Let's give Michael a round of applause. He's actually using someone else's drummer, so I really appreciate it. Sorry. And next we will have Exelon Corporation and BGE and Petco. So you guys can introduce yourselves. And one of you want to work in front? Yeah. We may want to think about deciding to. When I'm. Okay. Everybody knows what happened.
Good morning, everyone. All right, my name is Karen Silva. I am the Exelon Community Empowerment Manager for PHI. So I handle Prince George's County for Pepco, Montgomery County. I also handle Atlantic City Electric and Delmarva Power. I've been with the company just about 7 years now. And then I'll let Joe introduce himself and then we'll go into our slides.
My name is Joe Woodson.
Military.
Exelon Community Business Empowerment Manager for BGE. I have 23 years of experience. Most of my experience, I started out in construction and to design, engineering, project management. So I have a pretty good grasp of what we do, working with supply and working with procurement. So any questions you have about that, I can pretty much answer those questions with my experience and understanding what we do, understanding maybe what you do as well also. How many people are in the construction business or engineering, technical services, project management?
Facilities.
We offer a lot of services through Exelon, but of course, the pipes and wires, that's our business, and a lot of the procurement, what we do, whether it's services or materials, is to support the pipes and wires business. But we work with other types of services as well, whether it's staffing or janitorial services, we do that as well. Legal, financial services, we do that also. But the big thing that we do is construction, engineering, project management, and that's kind of what we look for a lot of. That's where a lot of demand that we have when we're looking for supply. But like I said, we look for services in other spaces also. And typically, a lot of those contracts come up. They're like 4-year contracts. I'll get more into that in my presentation. But any questions you have, we'll have our contact information at the end. We also have our information at the table. But I'll touch more on that and I'll.
And anything that he did not speak about, with regard to our procurement potentials or possibilities, please don't make that a deterrent for you because we look for everything. There isn't anything that we have nurses on staff. We have, you name it, you just register in our system. So there isn't anything that would deter us from having you register in our system. Okay, so Exelon is the nation's largest utility company, serving more than 10 million customers through 6 fully regulated transmission and distribution utilities. Atlantic City Electric, which I manage, Baltimore Gas and Electric, which Joe has, Commonwealth Edison or ComEd, which our counterpart, Sharice Conley handles out of Chicago, Delmarva Power, which I handle, which is part of the PHI footprint, Pico out of Philly, and that is Darnell, and Pepco Potomac Electric Power I have. So I have 3 footprints that run across our network. And our purpose is powering a cleaner and brighter future for our customers and community. Our vision. At Exelon, we believe that reliable, clean, and affordable energy is essential to a brighter, more sustainable future. That's why we're committed to providing innovation, best-in-class performance, and thought leadership to help drive progress for our customers and our community. And as you can see with ComEd, we service 4.1 million in that area in Chicago. Out of BGE, we have 1.3 million. Pico, 1.7 million customers. Pepco, 920,000. And that is our Maryland, DC area. Delmarva Power, 540,000. 140,000 of that, 140,000 also gas. And that's our Delaware, Maryland. And then ACE, 570,000. And that's the South Jersey area. Now, our core focus areas. It is extremely important for the business that we have. Safety is paramount for us, which I'm sure with most of the companies, WSSC and others, that safety is paramount, is most important. And we are modernizing our energy infrastructure, making it stronger, safer, and more secure. We do advanced clean and affordable energy choices. We provide clean energy solutions and technologies to combat climate change, reduce local air pollution, and power a healthy, sustainable future. We deliver world-class customer experience. We empower customers with affordable services and by helping them take charge of their energy needs. Supporting customers, communities, we help the economic health and well-being of our communities we serve and advocate for equity. I'm about to say equality, sorry. Jeff. We're talking about.
All right, services, advertising and marketing, construction and maintenance supports, consulting, customer service, electric construction and maintenance, engineering services, environmental services, facilities, human resources, information technology, investment services, legal counseling, vegetation management, materials, building and structural materials, chemicals, fuels and gases, distribution transformers, I guess you can see right here. These are all these are most of the services and materials that we're looking for, and others as well that may not be on here. But if you want to do business with Exelon, first thing you got to do is register in our portal.
Did you want me to go back to that slide or some people put it up? Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you how to get to that also, because you can get to it on the website. So the next slide is showing how you register in our portal. If you want to do business with us, you have to register in the portal. This is the way that we conduct all of our LRCs. RFIs, requests for information, everything goes through the portal. All the information, all communications with RFPs goes through the portal. So, this is the main tool that we use to do business with our suppliers. To get there, you want to go into the Exelon website, go to the supplier tab, and then go to, new supplier registration. When you get to that, new supplier registration, there will be some questions there. It's very simple and real quick to do. I believe it's only like 2 pages. But you want to make sure that you fill it out completely. There's a vendor affiliation questionnaire that asks you about any political affiliation. You want to make sure that you fill that out. I mean, if you're an elected official or anything like that, you need to add that information. That's just legal and stuff. We need to make sure that we're aware of. Contact information for all of our category managers. That's available on the Exelon website as well. So, whatever discipline, services or products that you offer, you'll find contact information for those category managers. Category managers are the folks who actually put together the RFPs. So, I mean, if there's any details you want to know about how you can, get entry into a certain category, or, how do you prepare yourself? How do you position yourself to work in a certain category or to provide supplies? The contact information is there for those category managers. And we're a resource as well, so you definitely reach out to us and we can help you with that. Go to the next slide.
Before I go to the next slide, I did want to address one aspect that I heard as a question from the prior presentation. Exelon does not commercialize or put out our procurement opportunities. Our procurement opportunities are all by what we do the reach out. So it is imperative that you continue to keep that relationship and communication with the counterparts that I told you about, myself or Joe. But that's how a lot of our communication happens, is by keeping in contact with myself. But as I said, I have Prince County, Montgomery County, and Joe has a portion of Prince County as well. Atlantic City and Delmarva. Okay. So our procurement opportunities are not posted. So when you do your registration, we've had this within the last couple of weeks. They think that once they do the registration, you'll see the list of all the procurement opportunities. That does not happen with us. We do not promote our procurement opportunities publicly.
Which is why it's imperative that you put as much detail in the form as possible about what you can support, your services, your products. We want to make sure all of that information is in there. Because what we'll do is, if I'm looking for a vendor for a certain product or service, I go through and I search that portal. And I'm looking for everyone that provides that service, everyone that offers that product. I'm filtering through and I'm looking to see that you have your information in that portal. And if you don't, if you just put your name, your company, and that's it, you're not going to get a hit. So you got to make sure that you're as detailed as possible. You put your information in there, and like I said, stay in contact with it. I don't feel like anybody's bugging me. I don't mind you calling me at all. It keeps you top of mind if something comes up. So, and I just like to keep in contact with our vendors. And then maybe you're not in a position to support us right now. So it's good to have that communication where, we can talk through and say, hey, what do you need to do to get in that position? So, I mean, a lot of doing business with Exelon, a lot of people don't just jump right in. I mean, first thing a lot of people do is subcontract. They work with the prime first, and they develop themselves, and they get to a position where they can support a lot of this work. Because I mean, what's becoming more of a common trend now is when RFPs are coming out, it's not just to support Pepco, it's to support enterprise wide. So we're looking for suppliers that can support your entire business and not just locally. Now, that doesn't mean that you still wouldn't have opportunity because, you know, it might just be better to have a local supplier support this one Pepco and that's it. So, and not have to support Pepco and ComEd and Scotty. So, so even though, you know, RFP might be enterprise-wide, we'll still look at it, what makes sense. And we'll use a local supplier and not just somebody that can support enterprise-wide. But, you know, it looks a whole lot better if you can support that. And it's a big opportunity for you, so, but you just gotta be in a position to be able to do that. So that's why it's good to just have those conversations, you know, when we do have events, we can have an opportunity to meet primes. Um, you know, we'll make sure that you're invited to those events, so you can meet the primes and, you know, have opportunity to introduce yourselves and develop those relationships. So we do that as well. That's an event that we do at BGE that we do around September of every year, where we actually do that to set up for primes and some of the smaller suppliers to meet and network. So that's something to look out for. But yeah, all that to say, feel free to reach out to me, okay? You know, we're there to help support you. Again, is that,
Well, yeah, Morgan from Confidence Consulting Company doing marketing and business development. So since you guys do a lot of personal one-on-one interactions with the vendor, like there's no conversation for like questions. So there's not the normal procurement process, I'm assuming. So how do you go about asking questions if you have a question on the contract or something like that? It would be one-on-one interaction.
So the RFP,
The RFP, like.
they give you the opportunity to ask questions in the RFP.
Okay, so
If you have questions, it gives you the opportunity to say, you know, is it this, is it that? You can ask questions within the RFP process.
Okay.
there's opportunities for clarification throughout that process. Yeah.
And they stay continuing to communicate. The category managers stay in constant communication with those that have been invited to that bid.
Okay.
And even if your bids are like way out of whack, then
Just communication.
there's communication.
So you'll know what you, like, if you didn't win it, you'll know why.
Right.
There's-
So, I mean, they're good about that. And that's gonna help you. So that's gonna help you develop for other suppliers. Like I said, you wanna get to the position where you can serve us, and just be in a better position to serve the market. So, and understanding how the price and everything else, I mean, that's another reason why somebody trying to get into the business, a lot of them aren't successful. They don't understand the pricing, or they don't accurately price, or just, you know, they think they're doing better by just coming in way low, and, you know, you can hurt yourself.
Exactly.
So, you know, we want you to be in a position to be successful. You know, we want you to be as successful as, you know, because you're doing work for us. So we're not gonna let you, you know, sell your shirt and, you know, just
And
fail.
if you're too far out of the scope of things, right? So say we've invited 5, just using an example, and you're way off to the left, either too low or too high, our category manager will come back and have a conversation and question you without telling you what you've done wrong or outside, too far out. They'll ask you questions so that, you know, we won't have a situation where we're having change orders and issues like that, right? So there'll be communications that happen. You're not left to your own devices during the entire procurement process. But as Joe said, what I wanted to also touch on, it's extremely important to make sure you put in your capabilities in the system. So we have, just for example, a business that we know is a facilities company. They do groundwork or anything, but we don't know that they also have another business. You can have multiple businesses at once. We don't know that they do energy efficiency. We don't know that they install stations or they can maintain them because they have another business. Because you thought all we wanted was power lines. you need to make sure it's extremely important that you load your information and let us know what capabilities you are available to do. We're not swamping, right? You can't assume what you do from what you don't do. So you have to put that information in. But when we do that search, and we do, although we're looking for the best bids, when we see a Prince George's County address, we'll go to that Prince George's County address, but it's there, right? You can see it. Are we going to choose the Prince George's County over another? We choose the best. But if that one is also Prince George's County address, it's all the better, right? So we look at all these different factors because we want to make sure that they're available to do the work. And one other thing that we did not touch on, it's only one registration that you need to do. Once you register in our system, that allows you to work with all of our outlets. Atlantic City, Delmarva, Chicago, wherever we have business, as long as you're able to do business in those areas. So you only need to do one registration. If you're already, that was another question that was asked. How many of you are registered with us right now? What the gentleman, Mr. Jackson said, you need to register, right? So you need to make sure that you are registered with us because you never know what comes up. There's conversations that you can have with me right now where we can let you know, we think something might be coming down the pipe. Get it. And if we reach out to you, there's a reason why we reach out. Get your information in and get it filled in as soon as possible. Because we know something that you don't.
Yeah, and just going back to design attributes for Exelon contract. I mean, at the top, you see safety. Safety again. I mean, even if you're not in a construction or technical services type of discipline, you're going to be inundated with safety. Safety is going to be, has to be part of your culture. Because it's going to get ingrained in working with us. I mean, because, we deal with safety every day. Every meeting starts out with a safety message. Everything that we do is safety. As long as you're focused on safety, we mitigate risk, we mitigate injuries. Everybody goes home the same way they came there. So we're always thinking about safety. If you're in a construction or technical discipline, you want to make sure that you have safety built into your business. You have a safety officer. You have a safety plan. How do you mitigate risk? And, how do you demonstrate your safety culture every day and how you do business? So we want to see it. We have to see that. So, I mean, if you deal with something where employees whose lives could potentially be at risk, we have to see that you're working safe. You're going to do what you can, everything to be safe. And that's part of your, this is part of how you work. So again, it's safety culture. You have to see that, you have to live that to be the excellent contractor. Utility-wide, I mean, like I said, capable of performing services. You don't have to be, like I said, to be able to perform at every outgo. But if you become a contractor of Exelon and you perform well, and you have a track record of success, I mean, you may want to expand, you may want to scale, you may want to do other disciplines of work. So, I mean, and we may ask you to do that. I mean, if you have a successful track record, then that lets you know that, you can execute the work that we need, and we're gonna lean on you. We got some suppliers that have been around for a while, who, we go to them because we know they can execute. Who maybe had started out in gas construction, and now they're doing electric and transmission and project management. They've just grown their business because they've shown that they had the leadership and they figured out how to be successful in the business. They developed all the relationships. They kind of follow our mirror the way that we do business. So they position themselves so they can, integrate with us. So all that type of stuff makes you successful.
And we have several, I know of myself that are Prince George's County suppliers that started off as subcontractors that are now prime. Our goal is to get you your prime, right? So we want to make you that boss in the project process.
Yeah, so, I got a couple more I want to talk about. Flexible capacity. So, you know, the work, it could be there, you know, it could be a ton of work there, then the work could happen around. So you gotta be able to manage that, you know, Exelon doesn't have everything. So you gotta have a mix and you gotta be able to, um, you gotta be able to step back, you gotta be able to manage resources. I think sometimes, you know, the work might get slow and you gotta be able to manage that, but at the same time, you gotta be ready to scale up when the work comes. So, just being flexible and having that flexible capacity. Um, Total cost of ownership, you know, again, in technical environment, again, we're talking about being competitive with your pricing, making sure that, you know, your costs are competitive, that you reduce any risk, and then you, do everything to exceed quality and timeliness requirements to complete our product and, complete your projects over time. Next slide. So this is just our supply process summary, just going over some things that we all talked about. Our sourcing platform is the Smart GDP, that's when you register in the portal. Just making sure that you're registered in there. Utility resource needs, we have our business support within the OPCOs, we have our support. You know, we have some supply development programs where we have VP sponsorships. Those opportunities come up as well. And then there's the subcontracted prime relationships where, you know, you'll have those relationships as well to support you. Pre-qualification, becoming an approved contractor, you gotta go through, commercial requirements, again, the BAQ, the vendor, affiliate questionnaire, the, security, risk assessment. That security risk assessment is more like, IT. A lot of IT, I mean, that's where a lot of vulnerabilities happen is with your IT. So we make sure that your IT systems are up to a par to do business with us because we don't want some foreign actor or whoever, somebody might do something illicit to go through your business to get into our system. So you have to have those security requirements and they will check that. Safety and quality requirements. Demonstrating that you have the management and technical requirements, and then, the bid reviews. Like I said, it's, you know, it's face-to-face engagement on the technical side, and then there's, category managing that would review your bids. Our requests, you know, they'll send out information sometimes just to, you know, get information on, before they do an RFP, they might just ask some questions first, just to get an idea of who wants to support a certain bid or, what resources are available. And then, of course, the RFPs and the RFP process. Next slide.
We go to the next slide. One thing that I wanted to, we utilize a lot of resources to do our diversity certification. NMSBC, CRMSBC, MSBC, MDOT. We look for all. I don't think there's anyone that we don't accept as far as certifications are concerned. So making sure that you load in your diversity certification in our system insurance information is also extremely important. It is part of the questionnaire process to make sure that you have that information in there. I'm also a part of the Prince George's County Chamber of Commerce. I don't know if a lot of you are utilize that service. So I know that they just graduated a cohort last month through the equity and procurement process. So although this is a good resource here, there's also other resources within Prince George's County that are utilizing, or assisting with the procurement process. Yes, sir.
That's excellent. Can I make also a plug for the Greater Bowie Chamber of Commerce? We work with the Prince George's County Chamber of Commerce. I'm on the board of directors for the Greater Bowie Chamber of Commerce. So there are multiple entities in the area for you to work with. So the Greater Bowie Chamber of Commerce, if you look us up on Google us.
They are a great resource, your Chamber of Commerce, as well as, the, any one of like the Greater Washington Partnership, the Hispanic community engagement. And I don't know if you have to be Hispanic to be in it. I'm a part of it, so thank you. So you can, a lot of your businesses, and you get a lot of resources. You may get employees and things of that nature through these processes, as well as stay on, especially the Chamber of Commerce's websites. They have a lot of upcoming events where myself, Joe, and others are there, as well as the upcoming conferences that they have. It's a great resource where you can meet other suppliers, other businesses, build that network. You may not be ready, but you can talk to people who are, that can assist you to get to where you're. I know I met a young man who's a photographer at the African American event. He didn't even know how to make a capability statement before. He didn't know that he needed it. So, you know, you never know what you don't need until you talk to somebody. So building that network is extremely important. Coming to events like this, meeting us, and as Joe said, we don't have problem people call us all the time. Send us an email, just checking in, Happy New Year, Kwanzaa, whatever the case is, we'll communicate with you. And we ask that you just be a little patient with us, because myself and my state, I have AIDS, BPL, we have all of BGE. So if we don't get to you right away, but we definitely will. So just be patient with us and respond. And with that being said, it is.
Any other questions?
I do have a question. So how does Exelon handle innovation? Right. So there is a project that my company is working on that we believe meshes into what Exelon does related to home power and lithium batteries. Does Exelon have like an innovation arm that works with companies that may invest in something like that?
We have our own innovation teams, and we label our employees to be part of innovation.
Exactly.
So we have innovation built in, we have innovation teams built into every department. We do an innovation expo every year, but a lot of our innovation, we look for our employees to be a part of it. But we also, if whatever ideas they come up with, they will reach out to companies who may have something like a product or a service that can help us out with that. So, you know, maybe good to just reach out to one of our innovation teams and see if what you have aligns with something that we're already doing. And maybe and that happens also. We may find ideas that kind of connect, and we'll put them together to come up with something. So, you know, that we have our own innovation, you know, like teams. So whatever that is that you have, you can reach out.
If people reach out to us at events, for example, I was at an event in EDC the latter part of last year, and a gentleman came up to me, just as how you guys are here, with urinals, portable urinals for our trucks. Because he was like, suppose they're at a location and they can't go to the bathroom. And I was like, that's the back. But again, innovation, right? And then we just pass it along to the powers that be, and then they continue that conversation. So although we're here for our suppliers to, you know, work within our company, there are other avenues that we can also assist with as well to bridge those gaps and those things. Any other questions?
All right, well, we're at the table over here, so thanks a lot.
Thank you guys so much. Can we give them a round of applause? Thank you so much. Karen and Joseph. And now we do have someone from National Capital Park and Planning. He wanted to share a few words about their procurement.
Morning, everyone. Actually, not presenting today, just here to support. My name is Harrison Rose. I'm the Supplier Diversity Outreach Specialist from the National Capital Parks and Planning. How many of you have heard of us? How many of you are registered with us? Oh, hey, put your hands up again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I need everybody else before you leave here. We're gonna make sure you guys register with us. We're a bi-county commission, Montgomery County and Prince George's County. We do have projects, we do have contracts, we do have things that are coming up, so I implore you to register today. We're also working on a couple of programs. We're a new office, right? So we're also working on an MBE program and some other programs that will come along. So hopefully by the end of this year, that will come to fruition. We're currently going through a process right now, but we do need you to register with us, be a vendor. And we also have our projects on OpenGov, just like WSSC. So when you register with us, you also go into OpenGov, register there as well, and you'll be receiving notifications on upcoming projects. So I definitely implore you before you leave here today, come and see me so we can get you registered. And that's the best way for you to see what we're all about. Now, how many of you do business in Montgomery County and Prince George's County? Montgomery County, Prince George's County? See you guys after. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So thank you all for being here today. You can talk to any of the vendors at the table, the WSSC. Are you going to stay around? Okay, so you'll be around. If you can sit at the front table to answer any questions. Thank you guys so much for attending Procurement 360. I look forward to seeing you at our upcoming events. And you guys have a great day.
Thank you.
Morning, how are you?
We are in hospitality. So we